Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm back with the Scrappy sisters for another Scrap September video, and I will be documenting this photo of my husband and my daughter. And this photo was taken at the county fair a few years back. Now the prompt for today would be sketch, and this would be the sketch that I'm using today. You'll see that in just a few moments. And you can see there is a band going down the side, there is a photo in the center, and there are two circular elements and two clusters as well. And the Scrappy sisters will be using the same sketch, so be sure to check out their video, which will be linked in my description box, so you can see their take on this sketch today. I am using items from my September DIY stash kit for this layout, and we're very close to the end of September, so look out for my layout share coming up really soon. I will show you guys what I have left from my kit and all of the layouts I was able to get using those supplies. So here I grabbed this placemat from Jelly Bean Soup, and I've had this forever, and I really wanted to use it against that white cardstock. So instead of having just a plain white background, I wanted to add a bit of texture to it as well. And that's what that placemat is gonna add. Now I wanted to have gold splatters, but I did not want it on the placemat. So I'm gonna remove everything off my white cardstock right now. And I'm gonna use some Liquitex iridescent gold acrylic ink and add those splatters, a lot of them, to those two corners where my clusters would be. And yeah, you can see I'm also adding some tiny splatters as well all over my page. And here I'm just using some liquid adhesive through my Fineline bottle to add this placemat to the background. Now the band that goes from top to bottom was a bit short, so I cut it in half. And here you can see I'm just adding it onto my layout, leaving the center part open. But once you add the photo in, you won't even know that it's not joined in the center. For the circular elements on the sketch, I'm using two doilies, and I'm just adhering. I'm using some adhesive right now, some roller tape, and I'm gonna go ahead and mat my photo because I wanted my photo to stand out a bit from that white background from the doily. So I chose first this floral pattern paper, and then I'm gonna use an orange pattern paper. It's mostly orange, which is gonna be bold enough to have this photo stand out. And this is from Chamel Box of Crayon collection, I believe. Now all of the items I used today, I will go ahead and add them to my description box so you can check that out. I'll also go ahead and add the links to the previous two videos that I've done with the Scrappy sisters so far. I've completed, I believe, the long title prompt as well as the unusual size prompt, so you can check those out. So once I'm done adding my photo using this foam adhesive just to prop it up off the page a bit and add some dimension, I will go ahead and begin working on my title. Now my background is white and my pattern paper is an orangey red and white striped with a little bit of green going down the side on that border. So I wanted to add a title now, and I chose this word happy to use, and that gave me the option of adding other colors to my layout because you can see there's a bunch of different colors on that title. So I decided to go with that word happy. I'm also going to use some gold alphas to spell out the word day. Now on this chipboard piece, I have the words "this is," so I just added in the letter A with a gel pen, a white gel pen. So now my title will read, "This is a happy day." Now I'm gonna go through all of my embellishments, and I'm adding in some die cuts to the top and bottom cluster, and I'm also gonna pull in some flares as well. And I'll add a little journaling spot right below my title. Now my journaling just simply says, remember Stephanie and Dad at the county fair, and I added in the month, but I do have to check on the year, I'm sorry, and add that in later on. So I'm really loving how this layout is coming together right now, and you can see there I did rip my doily just a little bit, but once I add that flare on there, it's all covered up. Now next I will go and add some puffy stickers. I did not add a lot of florals to this layout, but I did add in some leaves, and those would be from a Pink Fresh Studios collection. I cannot remember the collection right now. It might be A Lovely Day, Everyday Musings, that's it. That's the collection I'm using right now. And here I'm going to add in those leaves to those two clusters. So right now I'm thinking to myself, I love all of the elements on this page so far, but my clusters feel like they're just floating. Those little pieces are just floating on there, and there's nothing really holding it all together. Now if you recall, the sketch that I'm using has some hearts on there. So I figure why not punch out some hearts from one of the pattern papers I have, and I do decide to use that stripy orangey pattern paper from Chamel that I used to mat my photo on. I do go in and punched out about 4 hearts, and I will go ahead and use those to anchor all of my clusters. Well, my 2 clusters. Now I do have 2 hearts left over, of course, and I will add one in right next to my journaling spot, and I do add another down at the bottom right below my title. I will go ahead and add the sizes of the hearts that I use on this layout, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Now you can see this heart is not fitting properly there, and I did not want to pull up my cluster, so I just snipped off the edge that you won't be seeing, and it fit really nicely right on the edge. Here I'm just adding back my leaves and the little puffy hearts as well. So you can see here at first I decided to use the smaller heart, but then I switched it out for the larger one, and I think that looks a lot better. And next up I will fit one in right next to that journaling spot, as well as by that little flare that says Just Peachy. So now that I have all of my elements on my page, I find that my splatters on the top left is not showing up very well. A lot of it is covered up. So I wanted to add some splatters in, but of course I do not want to get it on the placemat. So I'm going to go in and just add them in exactly where I wanted using the tip of my brush. For the bigger splatters that I add this way, I just made sure I had a lot more ink loaded onto the brush. And for the tiny ones, of course, less ink on the brush and just lightly touching that white cardstock. I'm also going to go ahead and use some Nuvo drops, and these are vintage drops I'm using today. And I believe the color is called Dusty Rose. And I just tucked those in on different areas on the layout, especially around my clusters. and these do dry with a matte finish. So be sure to check out the links in my description box for the Scrappy sisters, and I believe there is another guest today as well, so check that out and see what their take on this sketch would be. I hope you guys enjoyed this process today. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up before you leave. If you are new to my channel, I hope you take a look around. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. So I want to thank you all for watching, and until my next video, bye.